Hey everybody, welcome back to my Eurovision React Review channel. So, it is Saturday morning and I have kept some space to try my best to catch up with all things Eurovision that have been happening the last few weeks, which I have not done anything about on my channel. So the first one I'm going to do this morning is Eesti Laul. So I checked out all the songs in Eesti Laul. I also professed my favourites and the ones that I wanted to qualify through semi-final 1 and semi-final 2. And they've had the semi-final 1, they've had the semi-final 2, and I've not checked out any of those performances. I think I remember who went through semi-final 1. I know one or two things in regards to semi-final 2, particularly in regards to the wild cards, which I'm quite surprised about, which I'll talk about in a second. But I deliberately tried not to look because I thought, oh, you'll get around to reacting to that tomorrow, Shane. To which that never happened. And now I am well over the semi-final 1, semi-final 2, so much so that this video is almost kind of, to what extent is it relevant? So what I want to do is I want to go back and actually look at all the songs that did qualify to work out roughly what my kind of, I don't know how I'm going to do this yet, whether it be top 3, top 5, top 12, which would be brutal. And what I mean by that is it doesn't matter who you put 10, 11, 12. Someone out there is going to love it. And someone is going to comment in the channel being like, you are wrong. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do about that. But nonetheless, I thought the final was tonight because the semi-finals have happened, and as a result of that, I thought yesterday, I was like, Shane, you need to check out these songs because the final is probably tomorrow. To which, when I did some research, that isn't actually the case. So it would seem that Estonia just so happens to be, or their national final happens to be at the day where everybody's national final is, and that is the infamous February the 11th. So I had to remind myself which countries are picking theirs on February the 11th. Denmark, Croatia, Latvia, Italy, Malta, Romania, and Estonia. So, yeah. So in a sense, I guess there's still some time left on my channel for this video to be posted and have some relevance. But ultimately, let's just kind of remind ourselves who went through each semi-final and moreover, to what extent that corresponded with who I wanted to go through. Okay, so let's do that through Wee Wee Vlogs. So let's go back to semi-final 1 and... Okay, voting was done over 2 rounds, the first 4 qualifiers. Andreas, that was that slow ballad, wasn't it? That wasn't too bad. It wasn't in my kind of top 5. Top 5, yeah, top 5 went through. Ollie, it's the one that everyone's talking about on social media, so I'm looking forward to checking that one out. Okay, Anett Fredi You. Trying to remember which one that was, which one that is now. Whether that was the one in the music video, whether they were in the studio, or whether it was the one where she was outside. I think with the one that had some Japanese lyrics in it. Bedwetters. I mean, it wasn't my top 5, but I'm not surprised that it's gone through. So that's on jury and public voting. So the jury has helped that one go through. And, okay, I remember that, Janek going through with House of Glass, which was easily in my top 5. So who was mine? I can't remember. I definitely liked Janek, so I'm so glad that's through. I definitely liked Ollie. I definitely liked Mia, but I do know that Mia is through as a wild card, thank God. And I can't remember any of the others. Did I have Andreas in my top 5? Did I have a top 5 or did I do top 3? I can't remember now. So that's semi-final 1. Let's go back. Because semi-final 2 is the one that I don't think I know. Because I remember seeing Elysa getting a wild card and I was like, what the hell? How did that not go through automatically? So here we go. Okay, this is the one with Alika in, which before the semi-finals was a big favourite. So Inga. Oh yeah, that was the one with the balloons, right? Yeah, I didn't have that in my top 5 or top 3, whichever I did. Meelik, I don't remember that one. Sisi Lighthouse. I'm glad that's through. As an artist, I think she's a decent artist. She's done it before, hasn't she? She's tried out for Eesti Laul before. She's got a great voice. The song, I just remember not being as kind of wow, and as a result, particularly in the same semi-final as Alika. But it'll be interesting to see how that one went down live. Alika went through. And MLs! Yes! Oh my goodness. Since actually listening to these, I forgot that I added that one straight onto my national final playlist. I do really like that one. So that one totally deserves to go through. So that was purely public voting alone. Good. So that means that the public vote has got behind that in some way, shape or form. So who didn't get through from that then? That doesn't help me. Okay, so Who didn't get through? How Elysa didn't get through is beyond me. Oh, Whiskey Won't Forget didn't get through. I liked that one. That's a shame. Oh, I'm disappointed in that. Okay, I can't remember Meelik. I can't remember how that one goes. Okay, cool. So ultimately, my biggest disappointments from this, Carlos not getting through, probably. If Elysa did not get through in the wild card, I would have probably cried, because out of all of these songs, even though ML's I really, really like and it's made my national final playlist, just not even it's not even comparative. Elysa Bad Philosophy is one that I've listened to the most. So these are our finalists. So let's check them all out. So I guess we'll do it in this order, right? I do not remember this. Okay, Meelik. Need to turn it up, right? Oh, I do vaguely remember it. Oh, sorry, Meelik. I already know this isn't my vibe. I was looking back this morning in regards to Eesti Laul, and I was like, and I know I've probably said this before, I was like, what is that one year where every single song in that final I liked? Eesti Laul 2017, the year that I didn't follow Eurovision properly, but nonetheless, I did follow Eesti Laul. Obsessed. That was an amazing national final. One of my favourite national finals of any country, of any year. Eesti Laul 2017. 10 years ago, this song wouldn't have been out of place on British radio stations. We've got a bit of Estonia in there. That drummer's beard is what I want my beard to look like. Sandals and socks. I've seen that. I question it. I remember a colleague coming in a couple of months ago when it was like dress down day, and she had it, and I was like, do I like it? It's probably a bit too cool for me. Ooh. 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 Who's the guy holding that thing? What is he holding? The guy on the drums hasn't smiled once. It's like he's a prisoner. Not gonna lie, this is going on a little bit too long for me. I want to see the guy on the drums smile. Oh, we got some light. We can finally see the stage. Is it? It's not a stadium, is it? It's a studio, right? I mean, it's very repetitive, right? But it's given out to the drummer not smiling. I don't think a lot of them have smiled. For the lead singer, he's got an excuse. They probably had a designer. They were like, you're going to do sandals and socks. And he's going to be like, I don't really want to do that. And they were probably like, well, you need to get on stage now. You've got no choice. Okay. Not my fave. But actually, seeing it live, like any performance, elevated that. It was a bit black and white for too long. I get why. Because it is kind of harking back to a sort of kind of Beatles or Monkeys vibe. So I get the black and white colour scheme. But when it went into colour, that's when I kind of was starting to get one around a little bit. Let's give that one 6 out of 10. I thought this was all right. I remember the first 30 seconds thinking, ooh. And then it just ran out of steam a little bit for me. I like the staging. But I mean, the concept right now. This is evidently a studio. I just really, 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 really want Ireland to do something like this. It doesn't have to be a big Melody Festivalen or Benidorm Fest. I know it's Ireland's national final is on a show, the Late Show. But even that, like, can you not create something like this? Because automatically, I'm already, with a song that I didn't have in my top 5, interested because of the staging. I'm really impressed with their vocals. I'm assuming they haven't got auto-tune like Norway. Waiting you. That's why it's all well and good reacting to songs before national finals. Songs can just massively change your opinion of them performed, right? This is already much better. Because of them. Confidence. Owns the stage. Having fun. All those concepts make you smile, right? See, this sort of performance on the stage at Liverpool, I can see this potentially qualifying. Studio version, not. Because of them. They sell this song. And actually, if you think about it, they're not doing anything revolutionary, but for some reason, I'm vibing with it. Do you know what? Fundamentally, all they're doing is going around that circle. But ultimately, I'm totally sold because of their confidence and the fact they evidently are living their best life on stage. Okay, do you know what, Anga? I was expecting that potentially to be right near the bottom after this, but actually I really enjoyed that. I'm going to give that a 7.8. Because the song itself, I know that I'm not going to go away and download that song, but I would watch that performance again. Okay, Janek. Now I found Muland from Norway as a songwriter of this song. I love it even more. It's one of my favourites. Although that lady doesn't seem so impressed with her arms crossed. Is he there? Oh yeah, thank God. Oh, Eesti Laul budget. Janek was probably like, I need money for my stage, and they're like, we can give you a wine glass and a flower. Vocally, sound. Oh, this is just like vintage Eurovision. Do you know what this reminds me of? Donny Montel from Lithuania. And he qualified both times and did fairly decent. But is that because this sounds like it would have been popular a few years ago? It's a very dark concept with quite an production-wise upbeat song. Okay, that's the best part of this staging thus far. This glass effect. It's very dark, isn't it? I don't know if that helps him. And that white box is very bare. What happened to the glass and flower? I'm in the house of glass. Is this going to be the same stage for the final? It's quite small, isn't it? If you were in the stadium, you're not seeing this, and as a result, in the stadium, it's going to be difficult for him to get any energy from the audience. There's really not much going on, is there? Right, Janek, the song itself is one of the stronger songs, in my opinion, from what I can remember from these 12. Your voice sold it. Do you know what? It's interesting listening to that after Inga, because Inga is a perfect example of elevating a song with staging. I feel the staging probably let that one down a little bit. I'm glad it's through. It deserves to go through on vocals and song quality alone. It is one of my favourites. I would like to listen to that again, but yeah, to watch that again. I think someone's going to need to confirm, is it the same staging for the final, or are they going to move it somewhere else for the final? Because if it's that staging, I guess they are limited. It did seem, or did look quite small, but he's effectively just standing on a white box, and momentarily you see a wine glass with a flower. What was the relevance of that? Okay. Right, Elysa, my favourite song. Let's see why the jury's annihilated you. Okay, I may already have a decent idea why. So many rose hills. See, at least she's got some stuff going on, right? Oh, said burn, it's turn. I don't know if I'm digging these dancing guitarists. You burn with me. Love is like a bad philosophy. But like the lights behind her are adding something. Janek needs to learn from this. You're always meant to live. Vocally, she sounds confident. I know that there were question marks last year in regards to Fire. I thought she was vocally okay. But she's holding her own now. But who decided to have dancing guitarists? It's really distracting. Oh. Because she's stunning. The start. Bad philosophy. Okay, that kind of works. But I think if they were just standing at the sides and coming in, but I've just seen them do choreography, which was weird. Open up the door. Want me to come on in. I love this song. It's evidently never going to win, is it? Based on the fact that Televote or the jury did not get behind it. Oh. Can they change staging before the final? Oh no, she's going to join in with the dancing guitarists. Okay. I want to be in that meeting when they told Elysa, we're going to have dancing guitarists. I want to see what... I wish I was there when What was her response? Bad philosophy. I've been over, you came over me. My reality. Always meant to live. It's like a bad philosophy. This is okay. I can dig this when she joins in. My reality. To live a bad philosophy. Right, I'm really torn because... I didn't give Janek a score. Oh, what did I give Inga? 7.8. I think Janek's song is better, but that's staging. I'll give that a 7.9. And then what I'll do... Oh, actually, Shane, right now, do you want to listen to Inga's or Janek's again after seeing it? Do you know what? I would probably put Inga above Janek. Let's give him 7.7. That staging did let it down. For me, because this song is, for me, quality, for me, music to my ears, I have to be true to myself. So I'm going to give that an 8.6 out of 10. But, oh my goodness, I just don't understand the dancing guitarists. Okay. MLs. I am super looking forward to seeing how this goes down live. I can't... Oh, that's one thing I was going to say. I like her earrings. I can't remember the name of the song. If you've seen Call Me By Your Name, there's a scene near the end where they go on a trip to a city and they go to a car park. Not a car park. They walk past people like dancing near a car and they dance to a particular song. This song sounds like that song. I need to find out that song because I loved that song in the film and I haven't put it on a play. God, they're really loving these raised platforms. But at least she's doing something with hers, Janek. She's doing something with hers, but moreover, there's more going on with the camera angles. I don't know what happened with Janek's performance. Miss you. With you. Why did the juries not get behind this? That makes no sense to me. I think this could do really well at Eurovision. Oh, it's not a raised plinth. It looked like it. Oh, it is. She's doing stuff. I'm not bored by this performance despite the limited staging. But the colour scheme works. Janek all black is not working. Don't know why I'm getting so emotive about it. This is very good. This is making me think, Elysa, drop the backing guitarists. Do something like this. Oh, that. And I'm loving what she's wearing. Is her name ML's, or is that just her stage name? Breathless. Breathless. Once you sing that I do. Do you know what? This is actually quite a strong national final. Miss you, wanna be with you. It's this bit that reminds me of that song from Call Me By Your Name. No matter what you do, I think Estonia should seriously consider this one. Miss you. Best thing that I do. How did the juries not get behind that? Even for the staging as well, but the song itself, for me, is quality. Now, I've got to be honest here, because that is a song that I do like, and in addition to that, has been elevated by the staging, where Elysa is a song that I love, but I was let down by the staging. And everything about that, the colour scheme, her voice, needs to be rewarded. So I'm actually going to put that above Elysa, however much that breaks my heart. I'm going to put that at an 8.8. That one made me very happy. Right, we're in for a visual feast, I feel, now with Bedwetters. Is he standing on some sort of automobile? Vans. I had a pair of Vans when I was like 14. Oh, he is on some sort of... Also, that's one thing I wanted to check. Is the drummer dressed as an emoji? I think he is, isn't he? Yeah. For you. Is the priest a backing singer, or is he part of the band? I would say he's probably a backing singer, right? I'm assuming they're not a priest as well. That's effective. Synchronized headbanging. More enticing than Meelik. He looks very surprised. I'm assuming this aesthetic look is their permanent aesthetic look, right? Like Lordi in Finland. This is their persona. Feeling the void for you. And I'm feeling the void for you. Oh, has the priest got out the cross? Oh, so we've got a bit of story going on now, a bit of narrative. Get away, demon! Oh, we got the holy water. I don't get what's happening. Had they planned that? Because the main singer seemed to get distracted in his vocals then. Okay. I mean... Oh, I was expecting something... I was expecting it to be a bit more visually shocking. I'm not a huge fan of the song. That's my only issue. So, I'm going to give that a... Am I feeling the vibe for you? A 7. Because that priest is scary. I don't want him to come with a cross at me. So, or the holy water. 7. Okay, I remember this just being a pleasant ballad. I feel I'm going to keep going back. I think Janek needs to say to Andreas, look, mate, I think I've got a better song. Let's just change staging. Even if the sound of Janek's song doesn't really fit with the staging, at least already in the first 25 seconds, I'm not seeing an empty wine glass and a flower. You need me to. Oh, Nick. That's effective. Back. Okay. What did I say about Inga? Performed. Elevation. The song's elevated through the performance. Despite it being fundamentally a nondescript ballad with a sweet voice. But he's selling it, like Inga did. Me too. Cannot tell you why I remember the lyrics. I only listened to this song once when I reacted to it. It's in my head, it's a mess. Coming back, and then that best. Do you know what, Andreas? I'm going to give you so much credit for elevating this performance, this song with this performance and staging. To be given such a small stage and work with it, you've pulled it off. And do you know what? He's singing this one well. It sounds like the recording, the studio version, that I listened to once. What's in my head? All just a mess. Coming back. Other than that, the best. Why am I suddenly kind of coming around to this song? Why do you still love me? I quite like it, actually. Okay, I'm perplexed. The reason why I'm perplexed is a song that's been elevated by staging, which Inga did, but ultimately I remember preferring this one more on first listen compared to Inga, and I think after that, I think I'm going to have to put it in front of Inga. It is still fundamentally a nondescript slow song that you wouldn't be able to pull out of a pool of slow songs. It's not, you know what I mean. Right, I'm going to give that one an 8 because I think that deserves it. I think the song's actually all right, and I thought that performance was good, which actually puts that in my third place currently. Okay, cool. And we move on. Okay, here we go. The one that everyone was talking about. She looks like that girl from Stranger Things. I don't understand how that piano is doing that. It's freaky. Oh, is it just lights? No, it's actually moving. This is very effective. Not only does it sound quality, it looks quality. Elsie Bay, take note. I hope tonight to see something similar to this. She looks stunning. This song's better than I remember it. Love that. It's almost like ETV are rooting for this. Because it feels and looks expensive, despite the limited staging. The camera angle's on point. Her vocal's insane. Her performance is on point. Oh, this seems like a no-brainer right now for Estonia. She looks stunning. Oh, this feels like a no-brainer. This performance lives up to the hype, right? Bloody hell, didn't she sell that? Like her life depended on it. Oh man, what do you say about that? You know, I'm going to be honest, like there are songs like Elysa and ML's, which I have listened to more than this one. Actually, after listening to this one, whilst I understood the quality of it and I respect and understand the hype, I didn't go away and add it to my playlist. But just seeing it, everything kind of comes together, doesn't it? Do you know what? It's controversial. I'm gonna put it 8 points. ML's is 8.8. I'm gonna put that 8.7. I can't ignore the quality of that song, and moreover, I do feel the need to download that after watching that. It all has come together watching the live performance. That completely lived up to the hype. And look, I'm Team ML's, and I think that would be worth going for as a kind of wild card. But I mean, from the 8 songs I've listened to so far, if Estonia want to send something a bit more safe, guaranteed qualification, left-hand side of the board, having some sort of impact on juries and televotes in the final, that seems to be your one. But we've got 4 more songs to go. Okay, so this is the one that was in the studio, right? And I did not love it. It's just not the sort of sound that I like. It's like a jazz bar or a back room bar with a small stage, like with an intimate audience. And that's not to take away from her vocals or her attempt to blend nice earrings, dress and sneakers. I think that's what the kids are doing these days, isn't it? Sneakers with everything. Sneakers, I'm not American. Trainers. It's just one of those things, isn't it? Like, music buffs, like people who know what they're talking about in regards to music, I'm sure would be listening to this being like, But for me, I'm quite simple in my lines. And yeah, these sort of kind of jazzy, more credible, appealing to kind of music expert numbers isn't my thing. She looks like she's having a great time. I don't know what this song would have had to have done for me to be convinced. Because ultimately, she's singing her little heart out. Lighting's on point, staging's good. And she's feeling it. Are those backing vocals even live? He's living his best life. He's in tune with the melody. Getting lost in the music. He really is. He's dancing with that. What is that instrument? Is it a cello? Is it a cello? It must be, yeah. Do you know what? Vocally, love this lady. Give her a better song. It's a beautiful voice. And look at her. She's not even fazed the fact that this is live, transmitted to thousands of people back at home. Even she's gelling into it. Is that over? Oh, good. Okay. Who is it? Anett. Anett, big fan of you. Just not a fan of your song, sorry. And also Freddie, let's give you some respect. Okay, I'm going to give that a 5. I think that was always going to be my least favourite. I just don't gel with that song. Never did the first time round. It would have been impossible for me to be won over after that. So, song 10. Okay. If anyone's going to knock Alika off her throne, it's going to be this guy. Ollie. And that's just based on what I've seen on Twitter in regards to the open out support. It's one of those numbers, isn't it, when you know you're going to send it to Eurovision and you know it's going to do well. Like, this will qualify. Already. I love the colour scheme. Do you know what? Estonia have got some good choices here. Will they make a mistake? We've seen a few already. No, that's not fair. Gotta respect national final results. Again and again and again. It's been around. Look, it's one of those things. I know I've already said it. If this gets selected, it's going to do well. It is, from what I can gather, I find it difficult to comment on rock-ish songs. But it's on the verge or on the spectrum, pop rock, bit this way. Bit Evanescence, Bring Me Back to Life. My veins, yeah, I don't think they can do anything more with the staging. I think the staging is perfect. Colour scheme, that kind of shaky camera angle, that is really effective. I'm glad they didn't go dark. Oh, well, it is dark, but the kind of pinky purple effect behind, you kind of don't notice as much. Again, Janek, take bloody note. Okay. I mean, vocally on point, right? And as a result of that, from what I've just seen, that has lived up to, if not increased, the expectation behind that song. It's tough. It's tough. It isn't normally the sound that I would then listen to on repeat. I'll listen to it and appreciate the quality. And ultimately, if it gets selected, and there is lots of worlds where people are saying it will, I will stand up and applaud Estonia for making a good choice. But it does come down to personal preferences. If Bedwetters wins over that, I will be bitterly disappointed. I'm only saying that because I guess so far they're the two songs that are within that kind of rock genre. Okay, so I gave Andreas 8. That's probably a bit more... I'm going to give that an 8.2. I don't think he could do anything more vocally. I don't think he could do anything more in regards to selling that performance. I think the staging was on point. Based on the fact that it's so small, I love the colour scheme. It just comes back down to song, sounds, preferences. And so for him to get an 8.2 from me with that sort of song or that sort of category of song, trust me, that's a compliment. Okay, song 11. I am so glad this song is in the final. I've downloaded this one. Well, I downloaded it. I've added it to a Spotify playlist. Does that mean... Playlist. Does that mean download? Oh, she's utilising some dances. For me, this is like one of the best songs at Eesti Laul. So the fact that it got given a wild card worries me. I just think when the chorus hits in, it's so uplifting. Like when it comes on the way back from work, I walk faster. Puts a kind of spring in my step. But also I love Estonian sung. I think it's a beautiful language sung. Don't think I've heard a conversation Estonian. I've only ever heard it sung and it's beautiful. I think because I like this song so much, a bit like Elysa, I'm gonna love it anyway. But at least she isn't doing anything weird. At least those backing dancers don't have guitars. Okay, so I get in regards to the staging, the second verse, the song isn't elevating, it's just kind of staying on that one note, which is a shame. I think staging wise, I would have liked a bit of a shake up. I can't see the backing dancers, the staging's so dark, so that's not adding anything. She's quite static for what I believe to be a very uplifting song. Don't get me wrong, I don't want her to do a Chanel. I do love this song though, that's the thing, I'm torn. And the piano solo. I love his shirt. I couldn't pull that off. It's very dark. Why is she dark? It's an uplifting song. Colours. Do you know what? On a serious note, go back to, I said 2017 before, go back to 2017, go back to Switzerland, Time Bell, Apollo, with those really in-your-face yellow and pink colours. I know they can't do this because this is obviously a studio, but oh my goodness, why is it so dark? When I listen to this song, it makes me feel happy and it's uplifting. And also, look at his smile. I don't know why it's so dark. Even put some balloons on the stage. I don't know. I want colours. I want colours. Ah, Mia. You put me in a really, really, really difficult position because I really like your song, but I really liked Janek's and that staging did disappoint. That didn't disappoint me as much as Janek's, but only because I thought Janek was like one of the favourites. See, Ollie's was more visually arresting. I gave Andreas 8. I'm going to give that 8.1. And that's because I love the song, Mia. I want colours. Please. Ooks, I'm going on. Okay. It's a strong national final. Right, last but not least. Okay, Sisi. The problem is you can't not compare this to Alika, right? But what I mean by that, two slow songs, so it's good to compare them to get a gauge of how well this might do. I don't think it's a bad song. Bit like Alexandra in UMK. As in, you respect the artistry, but then you think to yourself in a music song competition, does this shine? This song? And that's not to discredit her. I think her voice and the tone of her voice is awesome. And you can see she's an artist. Letting me home. And she's bloody selling it because there's nothing on that stage, but you don't need it. She's evidently, I mean, they're all talented, but in regards to talent, for her to be on that stage and for me to be watching this without a wine glass and a flower, that's credit to her. So this went through with jury and televote, right? In semi-final 2, which I thought was very competitive. What I mean by it's good is comparing it to Andreas. This is a better song than Andreas. It's very much in the same vein. I don't know if I said this when I reacted to it first time round, but Rebecca Ferguson from the UK. The tone of her voice, but also the sound of the song. Okay. Keeping my promises, you are my... That's difficult. I'm going to have to give that... So what did I give 8.2, Ollie? I'm going to give that 8.2. Right. Let's work out what I'm doing with my ranking. Okay, so I think actually I managed to rank them from 1 to 12. Now, this is based on personal preference. This isn't based on what I think Estonia should do or what I think they will do. This is just regards to kind of my personal taste in regards to the songs that Estonia have to choose from in the final that will be taking place in a few weeks' time. So in 12th place, I think even from the beginning it was always going to be 12th place. It was Anett and Fredi. It's not my sort of vibe. It's too undertoned for me. There's nothing really. She's amazing. Next year, Anett, come back with a song that's better. But I do respect the vibe. It's just not my vibe. Number 11 is Meelik. Again, not my thing. And actually, I thought it started to appeal to me a little bit when it went to colour. I think it's black and white for too long. I get why it's black and white, because I get the sound is kind of tapping into Beatles and the Monkeys. I've already said that, but not my thing. Okay, and then number 9, the Bedwetters. I get that there's probably a fan base out there for this. I get that it's visually arresting, but quite just fundamentally, as rock goes, there's not enough in that song for me to want to listen to it again. So, yeah. Interestingly, so number 8 then is Janek. And it's just purely down to the disappointment in that staging. I hope he's got some other ideas of what to do in that final, because as far as it stands, that's got no chance of doing well in the final. Number 8, yeah, is Inga. And actually, that's down to the fact that performance was massively elevated. They sold that song for me. And as a result of that, I actually do want to listen to that song again, which I didn't when I listened to the studio version and watched the music video. So credit should be given to Inga as a performing artist, as a recording artist, for absolutely selling that song with quite simple staging. Just them, they were captivating. So number 7, weirdly enough, is Andreas. Actually, I was kind of sold for a kind of a throwaway, nondescript, slow number. I thought those 3 minutes, or however long I watched, was enough for me to want to credit that and remember that. So Andreas is number 7. And then I'm going to be honest, my top 6 are my top 6. Obviously, by definition. But these are the ones whereby if any one of these win, I will be happy. So number 6, it's still Mia. I love that song. It's uplifting. But again, like Janek, that would probably be higher if it wasn't for the staging. I don't know why that staging is so dark. I don't know why the backing dancers are there. It doesn't add anything. I don't want to be too harsh because I love the song and I love her voice. I love the fact it's in Estonian. It's got everything that I want other than the dark staging. Okay, and then number 5, I know this is controversial, but ultimately just remember it's my tastes. Number 5 is Ollie, but as I said when I reacted to it, the fact that Ollie is in my top 5 with giving a rock sound is testament to that. I am the kind of sort of person that you want to appeal to when it comes to a televote to try and get as many votes as possible. I'm not a big, huge rock fan, but I kind of respect it and I understand it is a good song. So take comfort in that. Number 4, probably out of all of these, the biggest surprise is Sisi. I actually thought, on reflection, when I was doing this and I was looking at my scoring, I kind of kept thinking about, I know it was the last one and that's how these things work, right? And I think that is the running order, isn't it? So she will perform last. But that got massively elevated, tenfold. That wasn't even in my personal kind of top 4, top 5 when I reacted to Semi 2 songs. So Sisi, well done. Number 3, I cannot not acknowledge my favourite song of this lot, and that's Elysa, but it should be number 1 and it's not. And it's not because of those bloody dancing guitarists. It's just so distracting and it's so disappointing and it just looks so corny and cheap. So look, Elysa, I am the biggest fan of your song. Please change that. Please change that. Even if you just do what other artists are doing, where you just have a raised platform, just stand there with a mic, with a stand, and you sell it, fine. I mean, have them static on the side and get them. There was 2 times when I was bought. It was when they came in around you and they lifted you, liked that. And I didn't mind the synchronized choreography at the end when you dance with them because I'm watching you. I find them very distracting. So that's my number 3. My number 2 and number 1, I kept flip-flopping. And this has got nothing to do with appeasing Euro fans. If it was, then Ollie would be higher. But for me, number 2 is ML's. I really, really want Estonia to consider this being a possible winner and what that might mean, because I think that this could do really, really well. And I like the sound, and I thought the staging elevated it even more for me. So my number 2 is ML's, and my number 1 is Alika. I do think, for me, I mean, out of everything I can see on social media, I get that from this, it's probably an Alika versus Ollie scenario. But when the results come through, I will be happier for my own personal tastes if Alika gets the nod. But I do think potentially if Ollie wins, it could potentially do better. I think it's probably more of a safer option to be guaranteed probably the left side of the board in the final. But I just thought Alika's performance was arresting. That's the right word, right? Arresting. So, yeah, that lived up to the hype because there was a lot of hype about that song going into those semi-finals. So, yeah, those are my thoughts. I did it, top 12. Wait for a bit of a backlash. But nonetheless, I've done it. So those are my thoughts. And if you are still here and you have not subscribed, please do. Please support my channel. Please click the notification button so you're informed if and when I post videos. Yeah, comment below if I haven't said that already. Let me know what your top 12 is. And yeah, until next time, stay safe.